I want to make sure the kids have the same quality of life as if their father was still alive.
Is what Debbie said to us after the tragic death of her husband Gary. A desire only made possible by the personal insurance policies Debbie and Gary were advised to take out by their financial advisor just months before the tragic accident that claimed Gary's life. This case study highlights the importance of personal insurance and the profound difference it can make should the unthinkable happen. Debbie and Gary were both about to turn 40 and had 3 kids under the age of 12 when they first came to see us. Real go-getters, they'd been growing their wealth by investing in property and had accumulated $1.4 million in associated debt. At our first meeting, they were excited to talk about alternative wealth creation strategies. However, their advisor noticed some gaping holes in their financial affairs. Debbie and Gary's wills didn't reflect their current circumstances, and they had low-quality personal insurance with long wait periods that provided just under $1 million worth of cover. Not enough to pay their debts and manage all their affairs should something happen to one or both of them. Their advisor explained that while it's not exciting, it is important that we protect the present first and build for the future second. You will be grateful to have insurance if it's ever needed, and very regretful if something happens. Debbie and Gary were hesitant to pay for insurance, but their advisor's comments rang true for them. They agreed to implement a wealth protection package that included life, total and permanent disability, income protection, and trauma insurance policies to protect themselves and their family against a full range of scenarios including death, permanent disability, trauma, and loss of income. Not long after the completion of their insurance policies, Debbie and Gary went on a romantic holiday to Queensland to celebrate their birthdays. After brunch at a local cafe, while holding hands crossing the road, they were involved in a freak and fatal accident, struck by a speeding car. Tragically, Gary died at the scene, and Debbie was airlifted to Brisbane in a critical condition with head, pelvis, and spinal trauma. Debbie had a severed nerve in her lower spine, and they anticipated she could be a paraplegic and suffer mental impairment from her head injuries. When Debbie regained consciousness, she started to process the enormity of her family's loss. Her mind turned to survival and what the financial impact would be on her family with the loss of her husband and the potential she could never work again. When we were notified of the accident, we immediately commenced the claims process on behalf of our clients. Not long after arriving home from hospital, our advisor met with Debbie at her home, where she expressed her greatest worry was being able to support her family both emotionally and financially.
I just want to know, will we run out of money? And are we going to lose the house?
Our advisor was able to reassure Debbie and stepped her through all the policies that had been put in place and what could be claimed. By the end of the meeting, after wiping away many tears, Debbie was extremely grateful to know that her family was going to be, at least, financially okay.
I am so glad that we met you. Without you, our lives would have been completely different.
Between Debbie and her children, they have just over $2.2 million which needs ongoing financial management. Money that the family will rely on to support themselves for many years. Had the couple not reviewed and improved their insurance policies, they would have over $1 million less. The combination of policies they took out has protected their family's income in multiple ways, with a claimable life insurance policy for Gary and trauma and income protection policies for Debbie. Since the accident, Debbie has regained movement in her legs and has avoided any brain damage. She has been informed she needs a pelvis and hip replacement and will require ongoing modifications to her car and home to help her mobility. It is anticipated that she may be able to return to the workforce sometime in the future if she continues her recovery path. However, she will have a permanent disability. We provide Debbie and her children with ongoing financial advice to help manage their portfolio, debt, and investments. Income protection payments, combined with the invested life and trauma insurance payouts, provides an income of $160,000 per year. This achieves Debbie's goal of supporting her family financially. The advice provided to Debbie and Gary at their initial appointment and the extra time taken to highlight to them the importance of personal insurance has, and will continue to have, a profound impact on the quality of life Debbie and her children live. Without their improved personal insurance policies, Debbie and her children would be in a much more dire financial position, and with the very real prospect of losing their home. The importance of personal insurance and the impacts of having it or not should not be undersold. Life-changing advice that will last a lifetime. Protect yourself and your family. Get in contact to discuss your personal insurance needs.
The information in this video, including taxation, is general in nature and may not be relevant to your individual circumstances. You should refrain from doing anything in reliance on this information without first obtaining suitable professional advice. You should obtain and consider the relevant product disclosure statement before making any decision to acquire a product. Elliott Watson Financial Planning Proprietary Limited, ABN 706101684646, is a corporate authorised representative of RI Advice Group Proprietary Limited, ABN 230017741125, AFSL 238429.